Hello, good evening. Good evening, Beck. Perfect timing. I'm just about to close my eyes to sleep. I'm terribly sorry about that, Beck. But a lurk is very welcome. You're here but multitasking for a bit, Meryl. Okay, that's grand. Good to see you both. Also, only 2 followers away from 50. So close. So close to 50. Yes, indeed. But I learned a long time ago not to pay too much attention to the numbers because they'll only drive you mad. But speaking of driving you mad, we're going to be continuing, or indeed finishing, hopefully, this evening, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. I think in a conflict or in a standoff, I suppose, the end of an arduous journey, where we finally get to face Hell herself. Hell herself. It's going to be interesting. That's Hell with one L, obviously. There we go. Oh, good evening, Charmanar. Good evening. I'm glad to see you made it. Also, just before we begin, something that I would like to address because it was bothering me, was this thing at the beginning of the game where it said if you die too much, the plague that's sort of floating up her arm will sort of reach her head, and she will have to restart the whole journey again. The idea was that you'd start from the gate outside Helheim all over again. That hasn't happened, and actually the progress of the disease on her arm seems to be arbitrary, and which is well, not arbitrary. It seems to be set. I've noticed a few times now when I haven't died, actually, it has increased from scene to scene or place to place. And so I looked into this, and it turns out that it's not a thing. They tell you it's a thing in order to increase your anxiety and your fear that death is deeply meaningful. Um, and in some ways, they wanted to put you into Senua's headspace, terror of unknown unknown and uncontrollable consequences for your actions. So I thought it was really interesting. Okay, good night, Beck. Good night. Sleep well, you wonderful, wonderful tired man. You. Um, I thought it was really interesting. A really interesting way of, of achieving that effect. Can't cross the bridge. The final task.
This isn't just a broken bridge, is it? Mother, you showed me how to see further. To see the hidden wonders in our world and explore new paths into the unknown. To lead so that others may follow, or to warn so that they may avoid. That is our gift and our duty. I'm not going to look away in fear anymore.
So we have to get the right angle on the bridge. This is not the right angle. Has everyone had a good week since the epic stream last week? I've been okay. I suppose this is also partly an answer to you, Meryl. Been okay. Twinge in the back. It wasn't a major like twinge. Cause the thing is, last weekend not last weekend, earlier this week. Can't remember when. Basically, I did a really good lift essentially at the gym. There we go. Let's focus on that. And of course, it wouldn't be the lift. It would be a tiny little movement that would twinge me back. And that's what happened. This tiny little boop, and I've been walking around like a C shape or croquet hoop all week. Yeah, It's been a crappy week. Oh, sorry about that, Meryl. I mean, I'm slightly fronting it actually, if I'm honest, in so much as, and I'm not trying to sort of one up anyone, but in that sense, it, it's been a difficult week because of the amount of pain I've been in. I've been really struggling to keep things in perspective and focus, and to uh, be in the moment. For example, right here now playing the game, as opposed to worrying about things or just being so pained that I'm just distracted. So it hasn't been easy, but it sounds like you've had a tough week as well. Pain sucks your energy levels like no one's business. Um, Incidentally, is the volume high enough on the game? Do let me know if I need to turn it up compared to my mic. Got to have one once in a while to appreciate the good times. Yes, no, yeah, absolutely, indeed. You only know the good times if you've got something to compare them to. How on earth do we get this bit of bridge to appear? Ah, there must be like a perspective up there, or is it down there? Perhaps do we have to look up at the bridge? Okay. Also, is the rain falling upwards? The rain is falling upwards. That's quite cool. Crazy puzzle time. Yep. Ah, yeah. So and the thing is, I know that for other people as well. I mean, it's not like Charm and R. Uh, Backs are odd things, Mrs. Soup. I once picked up my keys that I had dropped on the floor. I've done the same thing 1,000 times, but this time my back is locked up in agonising pain. Yep, yeah. And tomorrow I have a consultation with the physiotherapist, and I was sort of joking a little bit earlier that the answer to the question "what first did this?" in my case is chainmail. Trying to pick up some chainmail off the floor when I was. I think I do have to go down there. Can we go this way? No, let's go this way. I was working at Jorvik, and then I redid it again when I picked up a TV the wrong way when we moved house to move here, and I just wish I'd listened, to grown-ups. Well, I've already heard that story, haven't we? When they said, "Look after your back," the military did it to you. Blimey, whose military did you annoy? That must have been quite a campaign. No, I'm joking. Was it like years of service, or was it during sort of training? Was it cumulative, or was it a single event, Meryl? No, it's not down here, is it? Is it? How else can we see? Is it from up there? Maybe it's up there. No. Hmm. I thought this ending would be about half an hour long, but clearly I'm not that good. So we shall see. I have a couple of games in mind to possibly move on to if we do finish this stream a bit early, but I shan't preempt it just yet. See, now there's some shards over there as well, so I wonder. No, those are the shards that we've. No, no, those are different shards. Then up here was the middle bit of the bridge. From here, can we see anywhere else? Hmm. 11 years of physical training that wasn't always the healthiest way to do it. Well, I suppose that will do it to you. Um, yeah. I couldn't strengthen my back and was straighten my back and was just stuck like it by the front door. I was there about 10 minutes before I managed to get myself on the floor. Gravity flattened me out. Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me when I tried to pick up that chainmail in a cupboard changing room at Jorvik. Um, yeah, when I told the boss, he had this image of me trying to let gravity do its work, and had to let me off because he couldn't discipline me with a smile on his face. That's quite funny. So this, okay, we got this next story bit.
The Northmen say the gods will fight the last battle at Ragnarok. Their
Mm,
watchmen will blow the horns that can be heard through the whole world. And Odin
the
will
pain
strike
is awful.
the severed head of Mimir, which gives him good counsel. The land of the giants will thunder with the sound of their army on the move. The gods will assemble. The dwarves will leave their stones. The frost giants will come from the east. The Midgard serpent will turn up the waves. Eagles will scream and tear at the corpses with their yellow beaks. The ship of the dead will set sail.
Game volume is pretty low. Yeah, keep on struggling to get this one right. Hang on just a sec. I'll go up a bit. There we go. Now then, can we make it through? Not yet. So, I mean, presumably progressing along the bridge might be part of it. Where else can we stand? We can't run up there. And it's all in that direction, but... Oh, I've gone and covered up chat again. Any thoughts? What do you reckon? So down there is not the answer. There's nowhere that we can get to down there. I don't know, from here can we look back on... Oh! We can turn that into a doorway. Ah-ha-ha! Did a slight Dennis Nedry there. Ah-ah-ah! Ah-ah-ah! What's the magic word? Samuel L. Jackson. Please! I hate this crapper stuff. Crapper? Hacker stuff. I was so determined not to say shit. I said crapper instead of hacker. Right. Oh, another story.
The Northmen say that at Ragnarok the gods will face a ship full of their foes, which Loki has steered to Asgard. It carries the fire giants, the wolf that will eat the sun, and all kinds of dark creatures. Surt will join them with his sword of fire. The cliffs will crash, trolls will walk the land, men will tread the road to hell, and the heavens will split open.
It's quite a list, isn't it? Quite a laundry list for the end of days. Funny how you figure things out. Is it funny? Funny specifically how I figure things out. It may well be. I'm a curious mixture of observant and yet at the same time I think slightly dismissive of things. So I don't actually necessarily always observe. A bit more volume, aye aye, Captain. There we go. I did mean to make a note of where the volume was last week, but I then went on to record an interview and had to turn the volume up in short notice, at short notice, and forgot where it was. So just keep me informed. Well, the happenstance, yeah. But again, I think it's all really good game design. I think the whole thing has been beautifully rendered as a journey. And precisely because this is a nether realm, they can have all sorts of anachronistic and these huge blocks, for example. Things that just aren't quite right. Or in fact, I know where they're being right from the world that she comes from. And that's okay because this is the underworld. If only that door opening is anything to go by, you're about right now. That's good. That's good. Well, oh, hello. Oh dear. How's your wire tidying going, Charminar? With your new webcam, etc. Have you managed to get the balance right? Just want to see what's up here. Ah, there you go. It's another story piece.
The Northmen say that each god will do battle at Ragnarok. Odin will fight the monstrous wolf and be killed, but his son will avenge him and plunge his sword into the heart of the beast. Freyr will face Surt, but he had given his sword away for love, and without it, he cannot defend himself against the flames. Thor will smite the Midgard serpent to no avail. The sun will grow black, the earth will sink into the sea, the stars will disappear, fire and water will meet, steam will shoot up, flames will play against the sky, the heavens and earth and all the world will be burned, all the gods will be dead, and the warriors of Valhalla and the people everywhere. Senua, prepare yourself for Ragnarok, for it is nigh.
It is nigh. Oh, I was wondering how your setup's going. You were talking about was it a new webcam and the cables that you were having to do some tidying with. I spotted you. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Ouch. Ow. Yeah. But also, oh, hang on, I'll talk a bit after this fight. Oh, not another one? Oh, I thought he. Oh, that. Okay, that's a. Ow. Ouch, ouch. I do love this combat system, it's very effective. Ow! Stabby, stabby.
It's nearly over. Finish it.
Hey! um, Neither have I, and it's initially I didn't like it. Initially, I felt as though this combat system was less effective than what I've been playing with in Ghost of Tsushima. But actually, it's really very clever. It's got more to it than like a hard and a soft attack. There's tactics there. You've got to choose when to use your focus. There's the stepping out of the way and all this sort of thing. No way I catch your stream. No way. Oh well. Rats. Hello. Good evening. Welcome. Yes, I have a new webcam and mic, extending arm type thingy, doing some videos and maybe streaming. Oh, excellent, excellent, excellent indeed. There we go. Is that the bridge? Yeah, that's the bridge coming into place there. There we go. But yeah, what I was going to say was about as well in terms of this idea of slightly, basically I'm happy to be here. That's why I'm not sort of. It's Chris P Bacon from YouTube. Oh, wonderful! Hello, Chris P Bacon. Good to see you. Excellent. That's really cool. Yeah. So obviously, yeah. So I've been back's been hurting. Haven't been able to do much editing this week. But also, I've realised that over the past couple of months, really from Sheffield onwards in particular, it's really hard. It's really, really hard to sort of. I mean, there's a video that I'm going to be releasing tomorrow that I filmed with a member of staff at Durham University. It's quite a cool video, even though it's partly an advert for the historical archaeology BA that they do. But it's worth a watch. I'd recommend it. But I found it really, really difficult to sort of to I have a list. I have a whole list of sites and things I want to talk about, and I sit down. I think, right, let's do that. And I try to channel a bit of enthusiasm. Hey guys, archaeology! Here's this new archaeological site. And all the while, I've got messages coming in and people sharing really horrible stories about how they're being treated in terms of the closure of archaeological departments, etc. And it's really, I've basically been struggling with that a lot. And so lately, watching Brief has been taking a precedence. Oh, I'll continue after the fight. Ah, got him! I got him. If only I had a ranged weapon, like something I could throw. That'd be grand. Ow! Pressed the wrong button to dodge. Okay. That was quite a good lunge, actually. I lunged out of the swordsman's way. Ow, but he stabbed me. I like the way they just don't stop either. The way they want to surround you. I might run past. Oh. No. Ah. That did not work. Come on, Senua. Come on, come on. Get out of his way, get out of his way, get out of his way! Oh, no, this is really... Ah! Oh! Oh! Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on! Ah! Good girl. Good girl. Good warrior woman. No, 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 no. You're aiming at the wrong person. Ah. That's it, that's it, that's it. We can do this. Dodge it. Okay. Oh! Spill their blood, yeah. Ah. Dodge it. There we go. Yes. Oh, no, no, no. Fighting is just beautiful, isn't it? I mean, it's gory, but beautiful. Oh, not one of these guys. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. She is hurt, but... Ah! Maybe time for an angry rant video. Might make you feel better, get it off your chest. Always make it private if you worry about who you might upset with it. I'm well beyond. I'm just going to just pause it just for a second. I'm well beyond being particularly bothered about who I upset with it. There are a few key influences in British archaeology at the moment which I think are massively underperforming and underserving as their constituents, their people, as it were. There's one or two who are downright, I think, devious, but I won't go into that one here. But if I ever made a rant about them, I'm not sure I would. I'm not sure I would hold back on it because I don't think it's worth it. It's not. There's going to be a point when it's not worth being polite about this stuff. I've definitely noticed, besides your shorts, most of your videos focused on trying more or less to say, hey, these fields are disappearing, we need help. It's very sad. I can understand the weight you feel of that. You really carry a lot of that with you, and it probably contributes to your back pain. Probably quite possibly, actually. Champion your cause is noble, and it really means a lot to the people that share their stories. Yeah. I mean, I want the work to be meaningful, but also at the same time, actually, unfortunately, as I've said before, YouTube doesn't quite know what to do with me because of the range of things I do. It's not just educational; it's also news. It's not just news; it's also comedy. It's not just comedy; it's also satire or computer games or etc. etc. So, or book reviews. So sometimes I worry that the audience isn't as receptive as it could be, or isn't even getting to see some of these important stories, which then adds to the to the stress, and then paralyzes you somewhat. This though is quite cathartic. Okay. Every time a new enemy appears, you have to sort of flick the right stick left and right to make sure there's not another person to focus on. So also, it sort of auto jumps. So at the moment, I know this is just this guy. Incidentally, as well, I should make it clear: when the sword glows blue, it's because you sort of hold down the Y button to kind of charge the sword. And what I find interesting is that I've just learned that. It hasn't been told to me. You know, there's no button prompts or tutorial there. You just sort of pick it up as you're fighting. Oh, axe in the face. Two more guys over here. YouTube likes black and white in most cases, and you're very eclectic, which I love. Well, I'm glad. You know, I try to make, you know, when I'm not feeling slightly tired and indecisive, I try to make things that I'd be interested in watching. And that means eclectic. Oop. Oh! Oh, you again, eh? I remember you. Just got to keep on moving. Ah! The problem is he likes to get you into tight spaces and move. It's not over. It's not over. So just keep moving. At some point he's gonna, go all ashen, so I can't get him. Maybe if I can keep this guy in between the two of us. Dodge it, dodge. Ah! Oh! Blimmin' heck! Crikey blimey! Can't focus yet. Ah! Complete dodge! Oh no! Oh no! I was focused on the wrong person. Come on, Senua, come on. Ah, that's very difficult. I know all the other swears in between. That's a lot of dudes, yeah. That was a lot of dudes. Is this really what... Yeah, this isn't going to be half an hour, is it? Ow! Ow! And also, I really love the way you can combine a run with any move. So you can combine a run with a kick and do a lunging 2-foot lunge. You can combine a run with a hit and do that. It's very satisfying. And again, none of it's in a tutorial. Ah! Oh no. Ah! My camera has shifted. As an American idea, I had no idea he was cussing. The game is like a big dance, though. To be honest, I didn't even notice I was swearing. I just like... Dodge, dodge, dodge. Okay, so we've got these two guys now. It is like a big dance, and it's wonderful for it. I think it's just magnificent. I mean, look at that! I lunged, he swung over the top of me. I could reply with an upswing. Ouch. Oh, not you again. I hate these. I hate him. I really do. Okay. So it's these three. Ah! Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up.
She's injured. It's not gonna make it.
That's it, that's it. He's gonna go all ashen like a coward. Ooh. Ah. No, no.
Behind you. Too many of them. Find strong position.
Oh, I really hate this bit.
She's got her sword. Play your sword. Mirror. Focus is building. It's building.
Oh, almost, almost, almost. Oh, I hate this guy. And then there's another one, isn't there? He's about to turn up.
Behind you. Punch.
Just gonna just pause for a second. Ah. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah. A lot of British cussing doesn't register across the pond. When I first met American flatmates in China, they were fascinated when I got annoyed with something. I caught one of them taking notes in a little book. Yeah, yeah, I think that's true. Yeah, there was some very very creative swear words in English, British English. I know if I know Americans, they were adding it to their vocabulary so they could pull it out and impress potential mates. In case they met a British person and have something to do and have to determine if they were about to be stabbed. Oh dear. Now, if he called me that, what does that mean? What does that imply? Okay. Don't.
Use your sword.
There's going to be another double axe soon, isn't there? I just know there is. It's coming.
Do it. You're close.
Bloody Nora. Yes, yes, Bloody Nora.
He's gone. You can do this. Focus. Focus. Focus.
Stop telling me to focus. You.
Remember the warrior trials.
Oh, come on, come on, don't. Come on, get up, 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 get up. Ah! Ah! beg your pardon. What did you say? Oh, here we are, back again in the bridge. At some point, I will master this. When it gets too polite, you know you're in trouble. Yeah. Yeah. There's no. It's not like it's coming in waves of 3 or something, and there's no musical cues. Ah. But I do like it. I like the fact that you can use the swings to your advantage. It feels very similar to actual swordplay, which is really good. It's all about footwork and the balance and this kind of thing. And reading the direction of the opponent, which makes you feel wonderful when you get it right. Ah, like that. Okay, don't waste the focus. Come on, Senua, run, 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 run. Sometimes right next to you as well, you know. I think no, hang on. I need to focus again. I hate you, you double axe. Come on, get up, get up, get up. Focus. Okay, so now he's hidden. Oh no! Just when we didn't need them. No, 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 no. What would be really nice is if you could completely disengage the camera in combat. It'd be nice to be able to run past these guys entirely. But I can't. I'm always running at someone. Which is has its advantages, but also at the same time is a bit of a disadvantage. Dodge, dodge. Just need to be able to focus if I can. Come on, come on. No! No! There's so many of them! Get up, get up! Dodge him. Oh, you double axe! Grrr, so-and-so. Okay. See, now the curse on her arm is shrunk down, actually. It's not fair that the misty ones can still hit you, yeah. It's not fair. I mean, I'm enjoying the challenge though. I'm not getting in. annoyed with it. I mean, kind of annoyed with myself. Oh! Oh, that was brutal. Oh, I just pushed him off the bridge. I know I can use the focus, but I don't want to waste it on this guy. One thing you have to admit is it's very hard for someone not actually in the academic field trying to find videos on pre-Neolithic up to Bronze Age that are factual. It's hard. A lot of race science and white supremacists use the field to validate their crap. That's true. Also, a lot of times I find myself still having to question the videos in their entirety as if they are tainted by it. Do you do the YouTube? You do the YouTube community a service with your videos. I feel as if I can trust your videos. So thank you for them. Oh well, thank you. There's no one. Thank you very much. See, it's funny. I've always walked a line there. And again, you know, the caveat being that yes, I've been having a difficult time lately, but I've always tried to walk a line with my videos where they're informative, they are researched, but I also don't want to do the work for example, for students. So when I have the most recent times when I have lectured, I'm talking pre-COVID, I've had really bad experiences where students are sometimes have bad habits, not all, but some. But they kind of just want to go and find a resource, and then that's the essay. That's the thing written, as opposed to going in actually ingesting some information and following the lines of inquiry. So so sometimes I see other YouTubers who I respect saying, "Oh yes, I include my references below," and I think, "Oh, I should do that." But actually, I don't want to do that. I'd much rather inspire, particularly people who have access to university libraries, to go and do the reading. But no, thank you for that. Thank you. I'm really glad that their reliable nature comes across, despite the lack of, Harvard referencing. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on! Ah. Okay, I'm going to have to use the focus, aren't I? Oh, you! I hate you. I hate you. Nobody cares. I always noticed that line when it said, "Nobody cares." Yeah, smoky. No. Oh, literally out of nowhere. Oh. Oh, come on, Senua. We can do it. We can do it. And it's the way that they can completely sideswipe you as well. I mean, I respect it, but it's brutal.
Finish this. End it now.
Ah! Oh man. The amount of times I put into Wikipedia the references are broken links and web pages from the 90s, it hurts. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, woohoo! Yay! Comes down to attention spans and focus. Harder to come by these days, where lots of information is right at your fingertips. Yeah, yeah. No, it is. It is, and I do recognise that. Well, the thing is, actually.
Wait. What?
Oh, hang on.
What happens to us? What happens to us?
What happens to us?
We die too. Do we die too?
Do we die too?
I don't want to.
We'll all die someday.
I don't want to die.
And when everyone's gone, even the gods will die.
We don't want to die. I don't want to die. Senua, stop. Turn back. Stop. Stop her.
Hey, hello, Smig. Good evening.
Senua, stop. Why would she stop to die? She would stop. 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 I don't want to die.
I'm sorry. I didn't ask you to be a part of me. If you don't want to die with me, then leave me alone.
I don't want to die. Please stop. 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 You'll never come back if you go there.
There is nothing to go back to.
We only have each other now. Don't abandon me.
Everyone suffers. They were right about me.
Listen to me, not them.
They were afraid. Like children scared of the dark.
So was I.
They made a monster.
All the voices have joined to one.
That doesn't make them real. Where is she going?
They made them real.
She's getting closer. No. She's going to die. She's going to
Follow your soul and let go of the Senua of old. For there lies your weakness, and the darkness will find it.
If she sacrifices herself, she sacrifices us.
Wait, stop. I don't want to.
We don't want to die.
Stop
Senua,
walking.
turn
Stop.
back. Hela, it's too dangerous.
Now that's really nice, actually. It's slightly subtle, but mirrors, reflections. It's thought that I mean, I think it's referenced earlier in the game that in this case, I think he said he had an iron mirror, although it looks like it's she's got a copper alloy mirror. Is a window to the other world, but when mirrors, water reflections, all this sort of stuff have always had those sorts of associations, especially in the classical and post-classical worlds. And that's actually probably and speaking of accurate references, Shigoki Smash. That's one of the things I've been trying to tie down for a long time now, is that the actual origin of Break a Mirror and its bad luck. Because the myth is that mirrors cost so much to produce back in day, back in the 1800s or whatever, that the workers would be fined like a month's or a year's wages, depending on the version of the myth that you're hearing. And that's not mirrors were expensive at that point, but that's not the origin of the myth as far as I can tell. It's probably actually to do with if you break your reflection in a puddle of water, you are damaging your soul. I think it's a Roman idea, possibly with a Greek precedent, but I can't quite tie it down. I've read it in various places, various books that I respect, but they never quite reference it. So presumably it must be somewhere in someone's writings.
Like the old stories.
But she's passed through the mirror and left her reflection behind. It's beautiful.
The noble warrior facing evil in search of victory and honor.
Absolutely beautiful.
clear dividing lines. No. Oh, this place is not quite like that. It's as if it knows that true torment lies within.
They got
Memories you
blinded by a
cannot hide,
cat.
cannot escape.
I'll come back to that in a second.
This is her hell.
This is her hell.
Wait, Mother! Don't be like this. Turn away, Senua! Turn away, Senua!
She's
You see it, Senua?
she suffers with psychosis.
You see the darkness. Faces fear.
That is her father.
You can see it.
Oh dear.
I remember it clearly now.
She has nothing to fear anymore. The gods have saved your mother. Through my hand.
You killed her.
It is the will of the gods.
Fuck the gods! You did this to her! Why?
This is what happens when you listen to the voices of the underworld. They crawl into your soul and rot you from the inside. Defy the gods like your mother, and the darkness will come for you too.
Sounds like a threat.
You understand, Senua?
I do understand. You cursed me with
This
your
is
own
a
madness.
this is a flashback. This is before she
I was just a child.
went on her journey.
You created this darkness! You created this darkness so you could hide behind it!
Only suffering brings salvation. It is the way of the gods.
It was all a lie. You are a lie! She didn't defy the gods. She defied you. And so you killed her.
You didn't pray to the gods. You prayed to your mother. Your mother, who was too weak to fight the darkness and abandoned you.
You tortured her. You killed her. You are the darkness.
Sounds like a definition of darkness to me. It's going to be a fighting arena. Deeper than a well in the ocean. Uh-huh. And I love it.
Those rituals, the years of isolation, the pain that still haunts you. It was the only way to fight the curse within you. The darkness is inside you that will destroy you.
You're a liar!
No, Senua. The darkness is here. You cannot wish gods.
I won't let you kill me.
Oh, okay. So her mother was that vision of hell that we saw on the bridge earlier in the game.
Watch out.
Not you, not you! You double-axed sod. Ah! Ah, another one! She fights in a way that you sort of wish you would fight. You know, you hope you would fight. Fear, you know, relentless.
Behind you. Behind you.
Never quite giving up.
Careful, Senua. Careful.
Oh, headbutt.
Behind you.
The voices have changed in her head. They're much softer now, aren't they?
Watch out. Careful, Senua. Watch out. Behind you. Watch out.
This could be her mother in her head, actually. That's a good point. Or it could actually just be her. She's hearing herself. Truth. Yeah, they're slightly. They take slightly fewer hits in this battle, but I think the idea is that it's
I can see through your darkness.
that it
You're
goes
a
on.
liar and a murderer.
It's the
If
volume
you
now,
are
isn't it?
Hela, then I have a sword here that can kill a god.
Look at you. Running forward. Animals to worry past. You're making a mistake searching for Dillion. The same mistake that killed him in the first place. I'm trying to save you from yourself. You still believe it is a lie. The plague of darkness, the butchering of Dillion by the Norsemen. You saw it yourself.
You told everyone I was cursed. They believed you. I believed you.
Tell me, Senua, where is Dillion's soul if the darkness is alive? How you saved him?
Yeah.
He's here. I know he's here.
Oh man. I'm sort of partly weepy, but also partly I've just got stuff. I literally have got stuff in my eye. Oh, this guy again. Oh. Just ouch! Jump out of the way. Oh, it's him again.
Behind you. Behind you.
I mean, I hate to say it, but even her getting hit by these guys is a thing of beauty. Ah. Ow, for crying out loud, man! I just realised that there's a block button. Yeah, there you go, it's on the screen. It says block. RB. Wow. Oh, man. Yeah, who needs block? Who needs block? I just went, oh, that's a block. That's just been my my fighting style, apparently. Don't block. And I didn't use focus for a while either. Oh, come on then. Ah. Well, look at I'm definitely not blocking now. I'm definitely not showing skills with the controller. Oh my goodness me! She's just being beaten down.
Delian! Where is he? You're trying to trick me again with your lies. I know he's here. You took him from me. You have him.
Where did she go? There she is.
Let him go now. I'm warning you.
Or what? What can he do to me that you haven't already? Fight me. Come on.
Careful, Senua.
You betrayed your own father. You betrayed the gods in search of billion, in search of love. Look where that's got you. Let go of your weapon. Let go of redemption. Let go.
Oh,
Billion.
get good. Oh, there you go. Sorry, you just twinged my back. Oh, yeah, yeah. Get good.
Anyone else?
Come on, come on, come on. Get up, get up, get up. Ah. Oh. Oh, this poor woman. So you're meant to die. Yeah, scripted, apparently. Scripted. Presumably. is just simply dead.
Is that what you want me to believe? After all you've done to me? And to him? You're not a liar, but you're a liar! You crawled into me to confuse me and deceive me. But I know he's here. I know you have him. I'll give you my land. That's what you want, isn't it? My soul. Take it. I'll be a slave for you. I'll fight with you at Ragnarok.
Interestingly, if she fights with Hela at Ragnarok, hypothetically, then she would be fighting against the Aesir, against the gods. I'm so glad I played this game. Yeah, she's all burnt up, isn't she?
Because I've got nothing left. No fear. No hate. No quest. Nothing. You will have no power over me.
I learned the hard way to not be afraid of death, Senua. Because a life without loss is one without love. You turn your back on death, and all you can see is the shadow that it casts. The longer you hide from it, the longer the shadow grows until all you can see is dark. When our time comes, we must look death in the eye and embrace it as a friend.
Hela's taken on her form. Really scary looking there. What about here? She's quite scary looking here as well, isn't she? What's a
Never forget what it is like to see the world as a child, Senua. Every autumn leaf is like a work of art. Every rolling cloud a moving picture. Every day a new story. We too emerge from this magic, like a wave from the ocean, only to return to the sea.
Yes, I think they would drown it. I think so. Yeah.
Do not mourn the waves, the leaves, and the clouds. Even in darkness, the wonder and the beauty of this world never leaves us. It is always there, waiting to be seen again.
Hmm.
This is where my story once began. And so it has to end here. Because I cannot see further than this. Follow us. We have another story to tell. My friend, go with her. This now will be your story to witness. Goodbye.
Wow. Round of applause there. Hmm. It was awesome. I was going to listen to the music for a little bit and then have a bit of a chat as well about it. It's always good to look at the credits, I think. Hmm. Senua, Shadow. Yeah, Zin Bell, her father. Gillian, Druth, Galena, narrator. Mark with a C, always good to see. Oh, Mark with this. One of them was Mark. One of the voices in her head. It's fascinating. Mark with the K. Well, that's okay. So with an OBE there. Jez San. Mm. No, I agree. From the Wellcome Trust, Ian Dodgson and Tony Brasting. That must be body reference, injury detail, this kind of thing. The Wellcome Trust Library has an amazing medical. It's a amazing medical image reference library. For example, I found images there of smallpox and uh, plague and also leprosy and this kind of thing. You'd I don't know if you saw some with your first name in the credits. It's a distinctive name. Leprosy is a thing, unfortunately. It is still a thing. It's much less common because we know a lot more about its communicability, and also I believe it's treatable. No, it is treatable. Leprosy is treatable, but it's definitely still a thing. I remember when I was a kid, um, my my aunt and uncle got me um, exactly. It's still around, but it has treatments. But they bought me a book, which I can't remember the name of the book, because now I know someone who studies archaeological leprosy in a sort of I think a Scandinavian context. And I was trying to tell her about this novel that I'd read. This short, I guess it would be called young adult fiction now, or aimed at young teenagers. But it was about a young boy who gets leprosy in high school, and how he has to deal with it, and deal with the stigma that comes with it. Um, and and it was a really good book, but I can't remember what it was called. And sadly, it was my mum unfortunately got rid of it at some point in some you know getting rid of things bent. If you'd like to find out more about psychosis and mental health difficulties, visit. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, well, folks, that was. Oh no, there you go. Sorry, there you go. So now we're back at the menu. There we go. That was magnificent. That was absolutely magnificent. And I think the thing that I love about it most is, I think as um, someone was saying back there, the fact that the fighting leads you through. You feel as though you are fighting almost a presence actually, because it's punctuated by these moments of catharsis or realization or a growing sense of the story that's surrounding her. And as I say, I think there's definitely a separation. We are observing her. She talks to us, she looks at us, and sometimes we are her father, sometimes we are the darkness. At the end, I get the impression that she's literally inviting us to follow her into presumably the next game. So I feel as though I've been part of that struggle, but I'm also witnessing someone else's life. It's just wonderful, and also actually, so with the with some of this back pain this week, at one point, so my blooming neighbour, he keeps on playing loud music at night and testing out his engines during the day, and I sort of had a moment where I slightly snapped earlier in the week, and you just sort of find yourself sort of imagining, what would it be like if I just disappeared? And I don't mean that in a sense of being suicidal. I mean it in the sense of just no longer having to feel struggle, stress, physical pain, frustration and annoyance. I've had a very similar thought once when I had toothache. You think, what would it be like if I just evaporated? But it's experiences like this. It's conversations with people, honest conversations with people who you love and care about, and who care about you. That reminds you that actually that's not really, disappearing, or indeed, going the extra mile and suicide itself. It is not a it's not a relief. And this sort of game. The reason I'm talking about this is that this sort of game takes you through like self-sacrifice, suffering. She's feels like she's almost destroying herself as she goes on this quest to reinstate Dillion's soul within his head. And very quickly you realise that in doing this, that it's not worth, that whatever she's going to do, Dillion would not want her to do this, would not want this to happen to her in the way that it's happening, and yet it's such a worthy way of telling it. She changes, doesn't she, through this. At one point she's absolutely, I think she would have been happy just to come what may, violence, but then she sort of goes through this sort of sacrifice, and actually overview Senua's sacrifice. That's precisely the point. It is all about sacrifice, absolutely. It's still around, but it has treatments of first person aspect really draws you in. Yes, absolutely. And the fact that she is talking to you, and that you are drawn in, and so yes, and just to be absolutely clear, I absolutely was not suggesting that I want to disappear, but it was like a thought experiment, and this kind of existential story is a great way of playing with some of these ideas: your relationship to others, your relationship to the meaning of your life, the meaning of other people's lives, and how they touch on your life. A magnificent thing of beauty. A wonderful, wonderful game. And I mean, it's almost midnight, and I hate to say it, guys, but I don't think we should play another game tonight. I think this has been, that was an ending, wasn't it? I mean, because I was vaguely thinking we could play ukulele, or go back to the game Death Coming. But no, I really want to let that ending sit with me. Far Cry Primal, yes, I will do Far Cry Primal. Actually, yes, I will. It is a Ubisoft game, but it's an Ubisoft game that I've owned for a while now, so I'll let it slip. I'll play it. I thought the gameplay was repetitive. It was repetitive. Certainly, some of the unlocking mechanisms were a bit repetitive. But the story, the presentation, the vision was all so unique that it really makes you feel you got something valuable out of it. No, I agree. No, I think so. I think. I mean, I'm not about to literally disappear immediately. We can still have a bit of a chat. But yes, I think I will start another game next time. I mean, is there anything that you guys got out of this game that I haven't touched on there? Because I mean, I'm definitely going to go away and I'll probably watch the videos associated with this from the game developers, but also there's bound to be theory videos on YouTube, etc. about the levels. And so what does the sword represent? That's an interesting one, isn't it? Is it self-belief? Is it self-belief that initially is given to her seemingly literally by Dillion? So by the fact that someone else loved her, she has this belief that she feels that she can now carry with her and combat the dark. And then actually the power of what ends up happening to her is that she no longer requires someone else's belief in her. She's faced the darkness herself. She understands it. She understands what her father did to her and to her mother. There's a hint in there, isn't there? The notion that it doesn't matter either way whether in terms of her mental, her ability to progress, whether Dillian is somewhere or isn't somewhere, she needs to be able to move on. Spotted another interesting ghost sign in Newcastle today. Oh yes, oh please do send that over. Yeah, definitely, that'd be grand. Just briefly, whereabouts was it? Out of interest. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm going to be thinking about this game for a while. I think so. Absolutely magnificent. Well, if there's anything else that comes to mind, I'd definitely be up for continuing this conversation in the Discord. If there's nothing that immediately turns up, it was very good. It simply was very good. Yeah, absolutely. It's supposed to be repetitive. The fighting was her fighting her inner darkness, and every time she succeeded and regained control of her mind, it only served to slide deeper into anguish and trauma. It's a struggle most feel in mental health, and the end is a way of her reaching the deepest point of trauma. Yeah, I think for me, what I found repetitive was some of the find the rune puzzles. So find the rune here, find the rune there, this kind of thing. The combat, as you say, Shigoki Smash was precisely that. It was that rhythm, and it was, as you say, very relatable. Because, as I was saying earlier on, there's just, you know, how I'm presenting in this live stream does not reflect how I was feeling this morning. Like, I mean, the way that especially, and as Meryl was saying, you know, the way that pain, in particular physical pain, like a pulled muscle, can sap you on top of everything else. And obviously we all know what's been happening in the world in the past couple of years. Can mean that you have that sense of, you know, and every now and then I'll say to myself, I'll say in a Facebook post, I'll say to people, you know, I'll say to Mrs. Soup, I'll say, actually, I think I'm close. I think I've got it. I think that last battle, I think that's it. And then tomorrow, I think I'll be feeling better. And when you don't feel better, then you feel really, really bad that you haven't. That not only have you not apparently improved, but also that apparently you've wasted that game that you've made. And interestingly, the self-awareness to be able to talk about it like that, I think, is a useful thing. So in that sense, I know I'm not caught in it, but I am affected by it still. And I think that rhythm that you mentioned, that's precisely what she's doing, isn't it? I'll see a video with all the cutscenes because my experience was fragmented on this one. Yes, I think so. But that said, though, I think it is precisely the battle that makes the cutscenes, it gives it worthy, it gives them context. So I suppose, yes, for a full sense of the story, that would be useful. But I think this is truly an experience in that sense, and I imagine it's probably going to be comparable, not quite obviously in a different, tonally different way, but to a game like Journey, for example, that I want to try and play as a one-shot, if possible, at some point. Something that has to be played, and I think I will return to this. I think almost certainly. I may not stream it again, but I'll definitely play it again. I'm going to try and play the game through again. I never finished it, and actually being immersed in the gameplay will be a different experience to watching you play. Yes. Yeah, I think so. And that's what I mean. I think compared to just watching the cutscenes, I think actually playing the game, feeling that combat system was magnificent, really, really brilliant. It wasn't because actually when I was playing Ghost of Tsushima, even though it's sword play and it has similar sort of rhythmic things, and it has that sort of sense of, again, timing and footing and balance, that's going. It's still quite close to Arkham Asylum. It's still got that feeling of, tap this to block an attack, tap this at the right time to hit, tap this at the right time to dodge. In this game, you have those elements, but it's much deeper and actually much more subtle. So things like you learn to charge your sword, you learn the timings. The very fact that there are beautiful moments there where a sword was swinging at an enemy's head, and you'd see them duck out of the way of the blade, and they come back at you. And also, you could do the same if you time something at the right time. It was visceral. That's the word. That's precisely the word. It was visceral. Yeah, wonderful. So I feel as though I'm just it was wonderful. It was wonderful, but it was wonderful. I love Journey. I know. I've heard so many good things about Journey. I need to play that game. But you could have tapped block in this game if you had known about the button. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. How poetic of a playthrough that you played without blocking the onslaught of darkness and faced it with a relentless spirit and without focus. That's just the story of my life, apparently. I mean, in all seriousness, I do have a habit of making things harder for myself than they have to be. That sometimes manifests. So recently, one of the things that I've been particularly trying to figure out is this question of how and where and with whom can I work and do market my work in terms of commissioned film work, this kind of thing. When so many of the people and workshops, when so many of the people that I used to work with simply aren't working like that anymore because of COVID. So schools in particular, universities and others, sometimes it's they're coming back, but they're not back yet. And that makes one anxious. And in terms of that, this idea of making things harder than they have to be, I sort of demand an answer to that question immediately. I imagine the question is unanswerable immediately, and then I also say, oh, by the way, at the same time, go and be creative, go and do a painting, or make a new exciting video. So I have a habit of piling things on and making things more difficult for myself than they have to be. I always have. I mean, I think we all do that. Put up our own roadblocks. Yep, failure is becoming negative rather than a learning experience, so we shy from it. I agree. And the problem is as well is that actually I think failure becomes, and it still is for me very much, it is as I've said previously, and this is one of those things where you think, oh yes, I think I've learned something, and then you slightly fall back. A little while ago I was talking about how the realization that the worst has never happened looking back, was really powerful. So in that sense, failure is never, failure, you have utterly failed. It's much more solvable actually than you may fear it will be. But it's hard. It's hard not to have that sort of that block, that shadow, that mind-numbing, mind-freezing sense of the potential for failure, isn't it? At times, which then cuts off possibilities, and it makes you sort of, it blinds you to potential as well, which I can say now. That doesn't mean that tomorrow I won't necessarily be back there for a moment or two. We just need to hold, all of us, I think, we just need to hold on to thoughts and progress as they occur to us. It's a waves up the beach, isn't it? It's not a straight line. If at first you don't succeed, try again. The experience of failing and persevering makes failure easier to contemplate. Yeah. It takes a lot of time and effort and can feel exhausting. I understand where you're coming from with regards to how COVID has affected things. My tours have not returned to the levels I should be getting. It will happen, but society is expecting things to go back to normal quicker than they ever will. I try not to worry about it, but sometimes I can't help it. And I commend you, Charminar. Your approach to your business, your tour business that we were talking about the other day. Incredibly brave, and of course that's going to come with worry. Brave people brave people aren't you know, they're brave because they're also a little bit scared, aren't they? You know, they're bold because they're also a little bit they're doing something that other people won't do or wouldn't do. I saw a video yesterday that made me sad. Permafrost in Siberia has melted and fishermen found a fully intact woolly mammoth tusk. Can't imagine what was there in its entirety locked in the ice. It's like climate change is ruining future discoveries. It is ruining future discoveries. There was rain on the glacier in Greenland, I think, this week, which made the melting happen quicker as well. Did I tell you you want a TripAdvisor report? Wonderful. That's really, really good. Awards, sorry, not reports. Awards. That's absolutely magnificent. Well done. Yes, good job. Good job. Was it? Was it? Do you get like a star now? Do you get to like stick it on your forehead? No. Obviously, you don't have a shop front, do you? You put it on your website or whatever as a. Must get graphics and badges and things that you can put in places or leaflets, etc. That's really cool. Team of archaeologists in Norway who have devoted all their time to recovering items that are melting out of the mountain ice. Yeah. Customer's choice best of the best and rating the top 1% globally of things to do category and 8th in the UK. Kind of thing keeps it going. Yeah. Put a star on your forehead, please. Oh dear. You could have it on your almost like a little like plaque on your chest, like a little military thing, like a medal. By the way, have you seen my TripAdvisor star? No, seriously, well done. That's absolutely wonderful. How brilliant to be able to do that. And that's what I mean. You know, it's these things that have to push you forward, because at the same time, no matter what happens, you know that you've achieved that. Absolutely. I don't think wearing a star on your chest is in good taste. Oh well, sorry. Yeah, no. Obviously not. No. But I meant the whole badge, not the. Oh dear. In true TripAdvisor style, they take 22% of my earnings, and the award is a sticker on my TripAdvisor page, and a print, and you print your own certificate. Ah, at least get. Have you got any good paper to print it on? I could let you have a piece of one or two pieces, I think, of parchment textured A4 paper left from. I was printing some certificates a couple of years ago for someone. So if you want, you can have that A4 piece of paper, and it'd be a nice texture for the certificate at least, before you put it in a frame and never touch it again. 22% of your earnings, though, that's a lot. Yeah. But presumably that's earnings that's if people book via TripAdvisor, presumably. It's not like they're monitoring your bank account and you gave the tour to people who just met you in the streets. 22%, please. Tax advisor, yeah. Thought about getting it printed nicely, but my printer is black and white only. Oh, well, I've got because I started doing art prints. And of paintings, I've got essentially a professional A3 printer now. It was quite an investment. It was £300 and something, but when you choose to buy a printer for that purposes, but basically it prints at a really nice pixel density, really nice color depth. I can print it off for you, no problem. It would be my pleasure. Or if you want to, you could pop over and bring the file. We can print it off together. But you don't need to pay someone to do it. Not when I could match that quality. The ink is more expensive than the printers, or can be. Yeah. But this one, it's a printer that has 7, I think, 7 small cartridges, which actually spreads the load out quite nicely, but also gets much finer colour depth. So yes, I've got four paintings that I print as prints to sell on Etsy, and a timeline of human history. Printers can be a scam. I mean, well, actually not. So above the computer here, we've got a basic scanner printer. It's a HP Envy, and it has. It comes with a scheme that is. It will monitor your ink usage and post you ink in the post, and that is a scam. I thought it was worthwhile doing, but I totted it up, and we were paying because it's a service, one of these service business models, and we were paying it $3.99 a month, and we weren't actually using the ink all that much. So yeah, that can be a scam. And if you do a lot of printing, depending on the printer, it can be a bit of a scam as well. But you can get refills and so on and so forth. But anyway, yes, point is, I've got a good printer, does really good pixel density, and I'd be happy to print that off for you, Charmanar. That would be my absolute pleasure. We have strayed from the path, haven't we? We have strayed from the path that was Senua's sacrifice. I don't know what the etiquette is. Should I have changed the stream info to just chatting or something? I don't know. Did you know most colour printers and most colour inks to black only? So most colour printers add colour inks to black only prints. They claim it gives richer blacks, but we all know it's to use your ink up by stealth. Yeah. Most colour printers add colour inks to black. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. So you're adding the black. They're adding colour to the black to make it richer. Yeah. No, I agree. Don't think it really matters. Don't think so. See other streamers chatting at the start and the end of half an hour or so. No change. Could change to this chatting. Best not to tempt the gods. No. Also, as well, you don't want people coming in disappointed when they realise that I'm not in a swimming pool or a bikini. If I have the problem of using it too soon, I have the issue that the ink dries up before I can use it. But is that because you live in a desert, Meryl? Is that because you literally have desert dust coming into the house? I mean, presumably the what's it called? The air humidity must be very, very low. Yeah, exactly, very dry there. So yeah, it must just be. Yeah, I can imagine that would be a problem. Here, it's not. That's not such a problem. But that itself comes with its own problems as well. Absolutely. Well, folks, it has been an unrivaled pleasure. 5 to 15% humidity. I can't even imagine such a thing. I don't think I've ever even experienced such a thing. I'd have to get into an oven with a hairdryer. My inks used to dry out through little use. I switched to laser printing and had the problem since. I would love at some point to have a laser printer as opposed to an inkjet. Getting water from cacti over there. No mold problems. That's a good point. That's a very good point. The advantage, one of the reasons why I'd love to get a laser printer as opposed to inkjet, it would be you can print off something and then use it in, for example, model making. Or, a little while ago I made a Cthulhu Mythos investigator's suitcase, where I could have added like a printed off label and then weathered it, because with those those labels, you can actually add a bit of liquid and it's not going to bleed out, whereas with the inkjet you can't do anything unless you laminate, and if you laminate you can't weather anyway. So yeah, I would like at some point to get an inkjet. I know a laser printer. It's illegal to cut the barrel cactus. Was Dune filmed in your backyard? Oh, that's a good question. And if so, can we get some spice? Oh, it's good for concentration. It could well have been. It could well have been, but we just it's so dusty. Just can't see. No, it must be an amazing experience. To be in a near desert. Hyped for Dune or Dube. Hyped for Dube coming out. No, I'm looking forward to that. It should be good. I just hope they don't ruin it. You know, I don't. They can live up to the hype. I think it's a similar sort of hype level for me that Blade Runner 2049 was before I saw that, and I was so concerned about seeing it, I didn't see it in the cinema. I eventually watched it with a friend who actually lives over by Hadrian Metro, Charminar, you'll know the area. A friend on Blu-ray, and it was magnificent. So I don't know. I may well give this a cinema watch, possibly. That said, though, Spider-Man: Far From Home is definitely going to get a cinema watch. No Way Home. Sorry. The new one was actually filmed in Jordan. That's quite cool. And not your usual sort of desert in terms of cinema appearances. Yeah, I can see why that would be advantageous. It's not Tunisia, so you know it's not Star Wars. It's not New Mexico or Mexico or you know, any other desert that we've seen in westerns and sci-fi. So yeah, Jordan, an interesting choice. Risk COVID to go to the cinema for it. Yeah. I mean, I think I'll go, and I would be very careful, but I think it'd be worth going to see in the cinema. But as I say, Spider-Man. Very excited about that. Well, you know, I would probably be a bit hungry, but I might not get the popcorn. Thank you. No, I know what you mean. It was filmed in Hungary and June, and Jordan. That's quite cool. Been recently, and there were only 3 couples there. Very safe. Very safe or very seedy. Oh dear. I've got some horrible stories from the small cinema in Prestatyn when we used to go and watch films. It was some of the stuff that would happen in there. Interesting that you mentioned Star Wars in Tunisia. Tatooine is a real place in Tunisia, just spelt Tatooine. Yeah, it is, isn't it? A little while ago, I wrote an article. For Heritage Daily. Actually, I wrote 2 articles over the course of a couple of years about the archaeology of Star Wars, because there was a photographer who had gone and found the film set, the original film set for Star Wars, and then I think some elements from Episode 1 as well that were built in the desert. So the Lars homestead and some other bits and bobs. That were just sitting there, being eroded by sandstorms, being broken down by the heat of the desert and the cool of the night. And my reflection, my article, was about the fact that these aren't just facsimiles, and they're also not even follies. They're not even the same as like a gentleman, some aristocrat in Britain might have commissioned a castle, on the horizon for them to look at from their grand house. They are artifacts in the true sense that they are something made by people to feature in a film for a very specific creative output. And in that sense, they are archaeological ruins. And I love the idea that, given enough time, if they were still around, they could be mistaken for something like a Stonehenge. Oh my goodness, a Stonehenge! Just imagine though, if Stonehenge was built, which it wasn't, because we know its landscape context and how it's connected to other monuments. But if a monument like that was built primarily for entertainment or for the context of a drama, and then 4,000 or 5,000 years later, people are like, well, 4,000 years later, people are like, goodness me, what does this mean? The way that they've orientated the Lars homestead to match the rising sun at one particular day of the year. It's so meaningful. You could fall down all sorts of rabbit holes with that. But in a very real way, they are archaeological remains. So Star Wars, the world of Star Wars, literally has archaeology on Britain. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, film prop archaeology. Absolutely. Dolly Parton wigs and dresses. Exactly. Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm going to prank Hank with this rocks. I'm sorry, maybe I'm misreading that. Apologies. Don't quite get the reference. Oh, excuse me, sorry. What do you mean you could, oh, sorry, right. Yeah, exactly. Stonehenge is really part of a James Bond set. That would be... or a Doctor Who set. It appeared in one of Matt Smith's Doctor Who's, didn't it? There's this sort of cube underneath Stonehenge. Which, presumably, if they do dig a tunnel, they may well come across... No, they won't, because the tunnel isn't actually going underneath Stonehenge. It's going underneath the wider UNESCO heritage site. Yeah, go shoot. Go ahead. Yep. Also, by the way, Smeg, thank you very much for the heads up regarding Spider-Man. I'm glad I didn't. I could have gone a couple of days and not noticed that trailer was out. So thank you. So I'm waiting on the archaeology question. Oh, that wasn't you. Who was it? Oh, it's Revan. Ah, oh, rats. It was Revan. Okay, I'll have to thank Revan. It was Revan. Apologies. Tell you what, I'll go and I think I did thank him actually. Yes, I did. Saw a video of Dubious Origin talking about extinction events. I know these have been catastrophes that are more on paleontology. They mentioned that disease might cause one in the future. And you're wondering if that is likely. I suppose there's a slight element of how long is a piece of string on that one, isn't there? Depends on the disease, depends on the its virility and susceptibility and ability or lack of ability to treat it. But I suppose as opposed to a future archaeological question, I guess you could apply it to, there are answers or questions similarly proposed for example, the Mayans. People sort of say, oh, did the Mayans disappear because of disease? Or when we look at the sheer amount of people who died because of exposure to bacteria and viral pathologies from Europe when contact was made with the Americas. The question is, how much evidence is there past for notes in humans out of written record? Is it something archaeologists can study? Well, actually, I did sort of touch on this a little bit. I believe the earliest known pandemic was from around 3,500 BC or BCE, and it's the plague of Megiddo, I think. It's problematic because one of the big problems is how they're described, if they are described. So if they come from, there was some. Sorry, I'm I'm thinking about three things at once there. Okay, one, almost certainly yes, there were pandemics for as long as there have been people, organisms, frankly. When it comes to prehistoric pandemics, it's hard to identify because we know that fewer human remains, just over the course of time, human remains disappear, but also burial practices varied greatly in prehistory. Sometimes people would bury the dead, sometimes they would cremate the dead, sometimes, in some cases, for example, there were places where they were likely depositing the dead into whirlpools, for example, in rivers. So gathering data when there's no written records is a problem for prehistory. The other issue, though, is not just recovery of physical remains, i.e., for the most part, skeletons, although sometimes you get lucky and, some of the squidgy bits are preserved. But it's actually also whether or not the disease itself leaves any mark on the skeleton. So, in the case of COVID-19, for example, my understanding, at the least at the moment, although there are lots of long COVID effects, the people who die of it in relatively short order don't have an effect on their skeleton. If it affects the soft tissue in the lungs, it affects things like blood pressure and chemistry and this kind of thing, but it doesn't change the bone, it doesn't leave marks on the bone. So identifying victims of a pandemic in a historical setting tends to be due to context. So are they in, for example, a plague pit? That's a fairly good indication. Or are they in a section of a graveyard that was expanded during a time of plague or pandemic? If the illness does leave marks, so probably one of the most dramatic illnesses that I can think of would be syphilis, for example, then that's easy to track, and we can see who has suffered and often how much they might have suffered in life based on those remains. But it's all about either an effect on the skeleton which is detrimental, or an effect on the skeleton which is actually adding to the skeleton. So it's a positive or a negative effect. So it's either damaging or adding to. I think it's called neoplastic growth, where essentially cancers can sometimes be seen in skeletons as well. So yeah, I suppose broadly speaking, disease might be a case of one in the future. It's often posited as an example of, for example, when it comes to the Mayans, did they, quote, die out because of disease? Well, one of the answers there is obviously not, because there are still Mayans around. The society may have collapsed because of a number of things, including disease, but I suppose what I'm saying is that this idea of it being posited as a mode of societal collapse on its own is unlikely. In conjunction with other things, entirely possible. But then evidencing it is something else entirely. And so yes, leprosy also, obviously yes, leprosy can leave marks on the bone as well. Also traumatic events in childhood, so malnutrition can show on the skeleton. Obviously breaks, sometimes corrective, apparatus. We're sort of trying to get a certain shaped head, or correct the shape of their arm or something. You can sometimes see that in the skeleton as well. No, I mean, I see where you're coming from. From an archaeological perspective, then, a disease that leaves its victims with a side dose of rickets would be a good thing. Only if we know, if we take good thing to mean good as in they show up as demographic evidence. I suppose it would be good if we are able to understand the relationship between the rickets as a side dose and what the primary pathology was. If we're using it as a hint of something else, because obviously rickets isn't something that can be a pandemic, for example, or an epidemic. I think one of the things, and I'm only saying this because I'm publicly streaming, but I just want to emphasise one of the things that one of my mentors, when it came to human remains, absolutely reminded me of, though, was this thing of the skeletons being more than just data. And I don't mean that to be preachy, but I think it's important to remember that at all times, if possible, that they're more than just the stats in terms of height and life quality and nutrition and so on and so forth. And so it would be a useful thing. It wouldn't necessarily be a good thing. Of course, that's not what you meant. But I think sometimes archaeologists get a reputation for being a bit callous with human remains, especially students. They can get a bit too excited about, oh, I found a skeleton, and then sort of forget what they're dealing with, and then that bleeds into how people think archaeologists think about human remains. So useful, but obviously not good for the person who had the rickets, unfortunately. Yeah. But obviously, I get that wasn't your meaning. I recognise that. But yeah, hopefully that's worthwhile. I mean, there were a couple of good books. Charlotte Roberts is the person I was talking about. She's written, was it Roberts and Manchester, wrote one of the books on pathology. I'll just Google it. Roberts, no, not Charlotte and Manchester, Roberts and Manchester. The Archaeology of Disease. Keith Manchester, I think. Charlotte Roberts. Currently goes. It's a tenner hardback. That's pretty good actually. 3rd edition, 2007. Which for these, for a general introduction, is 2007 book is going to be fine. The paperback's £7, 2p and that's just on Amazon. So obviously there are other places to buy the book. No, that wasn't a stupid question at all. That was a very good question, because actually it's something which we don't tend to, you don't tend to think about. I mean, before I went and studied archaeology, I don't think I would ever thought about it. Thought about the evidence of disease in that way. Sometimes we're really fortunate. So there was a graveyard in Spital Fields in London, which everyone who had died, obviously they'd died because they were in a graveyard. Everyone who had been interred there had a plaque on their coffin that told you who they were, when they died, and precisely what they died of. And that was a magnificent example, a useful example of being able to actually then do a blind test as to our ability to see different diseases. It was really useful to be able to just, because I should explain, the coffins were having to be moved because the area was being demolished, basically. And it was really good because you could open the coffin, you could show the skeletons to other remains, and some of them actually were a bit gooey in this instance. So you could show them to other people and see if they could identify how they'd died. And it's a little bit like the blind testing that's done for facial reconstruction, so it was a really useful exercise. Keep in mind that the person may help emphasizing, therefore, and it was a person. Keeping in mind that it was a person may also help with empathizing and therefore understanding their circumstances. Absolutely. Yes, definitely. That's a good price. Fortunately, as a Bristol graduate, I still have access to online journals and ebooks. Durham graduates get access for life as well. Yeah. Although I've never taken advantage of it. Why haven't I ever taken advantage of it? You just reminded me. That's that. Oh my goodness! I've actually been buying journal articles for research purposes. That's the research equivalent of not using block, isn't it? That's what I've just realised then. Oh my goodness! There's a journal button. I haven't been pushing the journal button all this time. I need to make it. I should write that down. So I should laminate. I put a little laminated card up here saying, "Can you access the journal for free?" Can you journal for free? Yeah. But there we go again. You see, making things harder for myself than they have to be. It is my Achilles heel. Worth their weight in gold. Yeah. Make a note. Stick it on the monitor. And add use the block button. I should add that to the chat bot, shouldn't I? Use the block button. Also, actually, in the chat as well, I have added a feature where you can type, I think, list, and it should list the current chat commands. There you go. I didn't realise it would list them as a series of individual posts, though. I thought it would just be one. You can't be expected to keep everything in your head, though. This is true. This is very true. Oh no, you absolutely, you definitely did not dehumanize the remains. Absolutely not. Definitely not. I'm just saying it just because this is a stream that that people may watch and may be interested, and I've definitely had people in the past suggest that archaeologists do dehumanize remains, and good archaeologists don't. I've definitely seen bad archaeologists doing it, though, especially students, unfortunately. Oh, I missed a follow. Completely missed the joiners. Joiners. Quack, I'm a panda. Wow. That's quite a cool name. Right. Guys, it's now 20 to 1. It's been a wonderful chat. I'm so glad we didn't go on to play another game. Because it would have ruined that amazing ending. And I'm going to go away and think about that ending now, actually, a little bit more. Thank you guys for turning up this evening. It's been a genuine pleasure. Yes, yeah, yes, Void Bastards, great game. That's another one I have to play. But yes, next time I will, for the Soup stream, I will do Far Cry Primal, definitely. Thank you very much, Meryl. Thank you for turning up. Didn't see you join. Hello. Come back from the stream. Yeah, absolutely. Quick Homer Panda. Hope to see you again. Good night, everyone. Bye bye. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Really good chat. Thank you. And like I say, more than happy to continue on the Discord. Thursday or Tuesday I'll probably do a different game on Thursday, but I'll do Far Cry Primal on next Tuesday, I think. So I may do ukulele on Thursday. Anyway, bye bye guys. Take care.